Okay, this question wants you to find the x and y-intercepts of the graph. And just to refresh your memory, absolute value graphs have the shape of a V like that. And so if they cross, they could cross in two places on the x-axis and then one place on the y. Or not at all. You know, you might have a V that's floating up like that and it only has a y-intercept and no x-intercepts. Or you might have a V that comes down and sits right on the x-axis like that, and then there's only one x-intercept. But as we're solving it, we'll figure it out. The thing you do have to remember is that y-intercepts are where it crosses the y-axis, and the x-coordinate is always 0. So it's going to be 0 and then wherever on the y-axis it crosses. For the x-intercept, and if you have two of them, the x-intercepts will always have a y-coordinate that's equal to 0. And then if there's two of them, you'll have like x sub 1 and x sub 2. You'll have two different. So the trick to this is simply put 0 where x is and solve for y to get the y-intercept. And then stick 0 where y is and solve for x. And in this function, I don't actually see a y. What I see is f of x, but f of x is the same thing as y. It's just in functional notation. So I'm going to start by sticking a 0 where the x is right here. And so I'm going to have f of x is equal to -4 times the absolute value of 0 minus 5 plus 12. And to solve for f of x, I just do order of operations. I'm going to start inside the absolute value. When I take 0 minus 5, I'm going to get a minus 5. Then I'll take the absolute value. The absolute value of a -5 is a positive 5. And then I've converted my absolute value bars into parentheses because I still have to multiply. -4 times positive 5 is -20. And then the last step will be taking -20 and adding it to 12, and I get -8. So my y-intercept is at 0, -8. Okay? Now I'm going to pause and erase all this because I don't have much more room. I'm going to need more room to solve for the x-intercepts. Okay, now to find the x-intercepts, you are going to stick 0 where y is. So I'm going to have 0 equals -4 times x minus 5 plus 12. All right. I have to get x by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this minus 12. You cannot distribute over absolute value bars, okay? You cannot do that. So I'm going to get rid of the 12 by subtracting it on both sides. Cancels out there. 0 minus 12 is a minus 12. Now, since this -4 is multiplied on to the absolute value, I'm going to turn around and divide it off. Because if you multiply something times -4 and then turn right around and divide it by -4, it just undoes it and cancels it out. So -12 divided by -4 is a positive 3, and that's going to equal the absolute value of x minus 5. Now, the thing you have to remember about absolute value is x minus 5, whatever that is, once you take the absolute value of it, you will get 3. Okay, that's really big. Sorry. Which means that the x minus 5 was either a 3, or the x minus 5 could have worked out to be a negative 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3, and the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So the stuff inside the x minus 5, whatever x is, when you subtract 5 from it, you can either get a 3, like as it is over here, or a negative 3. The question is, which one is it? Well, I'm going to solve this for x by adding 5 to both sides. That cancels, and I get x is equal to a 2. And then over here, I will add 5 to both sides to cancel it out. And here I get x is equal to an 8. Now, the first time I typed my answers into Mobius, it said it was wrong, and I was like, what? And then I came back and I read up here, enter the x-intercepts in order of increasing x value. When I first typed it in, I put 8, 0 first, and then the 2, 0 second. My x-intercepts are when x is 8, y is 0, and when x is 2, y is 0. That's what I did, and it counted it wrong. And I was like, I have the right answer. Yeah, well, I didn't put them in increasing order, so they wanted the 2, 0 on the first line and the 8, 0 on the second line. And can you say, what's the word I'm looking for here? Picky, picky, picky? I don't know. Anyway, those are my answers, and that's how it's done.